We're back for the second episode of the Trans-Eastern Trail with Lauren Wise.
Hello, hello.
So Lauren's going to tell you a little bit about where we are.
Yeah, day two, or part two of our interesting travelogue. We're leaving Bluestone State Park here, heading out eventually to the Breaks Interstate Park with about 200 miles between us and there. And we had a lot of adventures on this day, especially with some crazy roads we'll talk about later.
So in this section, this was one of our first turns. We had just sort of passed this area, and then we turned around to, make sure we took the right turn. If you look on the right-hand side, you can see a beautiful waterfall area. We stopped and hung out here for a little while. Lots of this kind of terrain on the way during this day.
Yeah, some of these gravel roads are amazing. They're beautiful, straight, wonderful, well-groomed roads. You can just cruise down them all day long.
And lots of wildlife in here, too. There's no video, but there were deer and bears.
This oil derrick is actually moving in this video, but you can't really tell. It's pretty exciting.
So just more beautiful scenery. You can kind of get an idea of what there is out in this section of the trip. Lots of paved roads like this. Another example of the typical small West Virginia town, although this one was a lot nicer than some.
Tons of little towns, mining towns everywhere. This is an abandoned school, and then I don't know what, like a mental...
Yeah, mental hospital maybe.
This is
terrifying place.
It's in Itman, West Virginia. Don't need to talk about this. Come party with us. That's the whole philosophy of West Virginia right there. But that picture was taken right before things got kind of weird in West Virginia. We started going up the Norfolk and Western Railroad on the side of the road, and then ran into
this gentleman.
This guy is awesome.
We'll try to talk very little during this section because I'm hoping that the voiceover won't keep you from hearing our new friend.
I just got home from work last night. I was on the strip mine.
Yeah.
We ran into this guy. I think he's from Indiana. And, hell with the Hatfield McCoy Trail. I can take you on some rides. I mean, they're good rides to the Hatfield McCoy.
We trimmed this conversation down quite a bit.
We can leave it like later.
He's a nice guy.
Incredibly nice guy. In fact, we should have taken his advice.
Yes, should have taken his advice and gone to the restaurant.
The last set of railroad crossing, you cross.
Had a pizza.
You go down
Had a pizza with the fisherman down by the creek. Past the railroad track. He had been, I think he and his girlfriend in the truck had wanted maybe a drink.
maybe a drink. It's
well,
really hard to tell.
He's just driving down the side of the railroad track. Happy as can be.
Believe it, I'm glad you stopped this because I'm off. I've got to go back here and make a right. So, so we're actually not heading down there at all. I'm going to turn around and make a right. But
yeah, he offered that we could stay at his house, but maybe next time.
You seeing a little bridge. As soon as you cross the last set of tracks, you go under a little culvert, and there's a road.
Same off.
So we turned around, and this cuts straight into one of the roughest sections. And the video, of course, I turned the camera around so you can't tell. Just after this, it gets really hairy.
Yeah, this road is called a Loon Creek Road, and it was. It looked like they had just started to try to regrade it, but it was all. It was all kind of baby head boulders, incredibly loose, huge rocks, nothing for your tires to grip to. I ran right in the back of Brandon.
Yeah, right here, and I think you can hear in this. I'm just spinning, throwing huge rocks
and this was very steep. And as we went up, it just got worse and worse. So anyway, if you're out there, be careful of this. It may be a lot better now because clearly they're in the middle of something. But even if you get up this section later, there's a section that you will not. I don't think can actually get down on a 650 or a larger bike.
Yeah, we turned the camera off not too long after this, and truly this was really the beginning of what probably should have been filmed. In fact, this little gully, which doesn't look like anything, was the end of the most harrowing part of the entire trip, really.
It's pretty horrific.
In fact, before this, if we hadn't been helped by some really nice folks on some ATVs, we wouldn't have gotten through the day.
Right. So the next day we left from the Breaks International State Park and took a ride up Pine Mountain here, and little did we know that, well, I was just hauling up this road and Brandon was way far behind me, and usually he's just, carving these roads like nothing, so I kind of suspected something was wrong. We got on this one lane, and I don't remember the name of it, but we think it might have been what, Indian Path or
Yeah, something like that. But as you can see, Lauren ended up doing some tire changing for me.
Note the big rock under the skid plate. I used to have a KLR, and this is how we do things on KLRs.
But yeah, I had 0 psi for the first 2 hours of the morning.
Then we got on the Henry Lewis Creek Road. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not that road though. We did get onto it. This is another road. This was a nice muddy. It's some mud holes
Yeah,
in it,
I think this is about to turn into mud hole after mud hole. But otherwise, a very nice little road. This section, if I remember correctly, we really stayed off the pavement for a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So here's some of what we were running into on that road, and I think this is Helton Lewis Road, and it's totally passable, but you can see the washouts here. It's passable. We actually ran into a car at the bottom of this road, and we were like, "Is this road passable?" And he just looked at us and said, "Yeah, it's passable," and it was, but it was rough.
Also,
and
yeah, if you look at what time of the day it is too, if you do the TET, you will have been riding for 6-7 hours at this point,
right.
And you will be very tired. I mean, that was the thing.
Mr. Leaf took a ride with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, on hindsight, this road was a lot of fun, but it was hard. And there was one place where it gets really rutted. I actually looked at my front suspension when we got down, and I used up all 9.5 inches on some of these ruts, and almost took my bike off a cliff. So I would just be careful out there. I mean, we don't have tons of experience, but we're not novices either. So just a little warning. But it was a blast to ride.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at the video, I want to go back as soon as we can. Yeah, you can see the washouts are not great.
That coupled with some pretty gnarly mud holes. Some of them we didn't get on tape because
gosh.
we were just desperate to try to get out of there.
Yeah, the mud holes that we showed don't compare. There was one that literally Lauren had to get off his bike and pull me out of the mud hole. So there is that on this trip as well, if you're not careful.
Again, fun, and if you're on something smaller like a 250, I think it would be like crazy fun.
But weighed down to 500 pounds. Yeah, this is the beginning of the mud hole clips.
And you guys know how this stuff is. This stuff is like snot. It's just so slick.
Is this the one where you?
I don't.
Nah.
There's one where my whole the whole rear end sort of drops in. Yeah, it's this one, I think. No.
Nope. Lots of mud though.
Makes your bike look cool.
We were pretty dirty by the end of this trip. In fact, staying in a hotel room the last night, I felt kind of bad because the hotel room was covered in dust.
Yeah. Here's where we thought we had taken a wrong turn, so we went up to check this, and Brandon timidly walks out here and sticks but you can kind of see in the video this is just like a continuous mud hole. It just goes on forever and ever. Thankfully this wasn't the road we were supposed to be on, but this area is heavily used by ATVs. We saw tons of ATVs, and they tear this place up, so it does make an impact. There's my bike. It's so awesome.
It does look good.
Odetta. And Brandon's bike. And crotch.
Simply the best for you viewers. Anyway, this is still it's still at the mud hole. Then this was going downhill, I guess to the right of the mud hole. And
yeah, this was a pretty rutted road, and you'll see some pretty decent washouts. This is where I almost took my bike off, and you can see what the drop off is out there. And there's a pretty popular video of a guy going up, crossing a rut, and just running his bike right off the edge of a cliff, and that could happen here just as easily.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be very steep here, but the ruts were just so deep, and if you weren't picking the right line, it'd be really easy to get your front wheel into something that would just sort of force you to take a path you didn't want to take.
I'm sure you experienced riders would be like, oh.
But like that right there on the left, I mean, if you picked the wrong way.
More delicious than that.
There it is. But again, on this strip of road, I don't think we saw another bike?
No,
Another
we didn't
person?
see anyone out here.
And this was a very long stretch. Again, you want to fill up before you hit these things.
Yeah, you're going to be in a lot of dirt out here. It's really awesome. You know, there's a good bit of paved road, but like in the first couple of days, this is where boink.
Wow.
The first couple of days, there's huge stretches, and today there's huge stretches. Oh yeah, we'll listen to this dialogue because we're so funny.
Up the hill? You go first. I'll be right behind you, buddy.
Yeah, my GPS didn't function a lot of the time, and so Lauren led the way most of the time. And very often we'd stop at an intersection. I would ask him, which way, and off he would go.
This is the Mongolian superhighway. It's a mining road. It's
unbelievable. One of the coolest things on the whole trip, actually, because you can really get going and see a long way. And we saw packs of ATVs on this thing. In fact, when I turned the camera on, it was just after a pack of 20 ATVs. And then this guy.
I saw this little feller who wasn't totally stoked to, see us out there, but he was cool.
But yeah, we were on this road for a surprisingly long time. And this is the kind of truck that rides that road. Right.
Big old dump truck. This thing was humming too.
Fudge.
Once again, we got lost. Not unusual. We got lost so often.
Lost is a strong word.
Lost. We took alternate routes to see more of the views. Oh, ATV 1.
So this is getting close to the end of the day, actually, when the roads started getting nice again. And I would say that this day was the longest day.
Oh, check out this dude. He is so boss. He popped a huge wheelie coming across the bridge, and bam, he's gone. No helmet, because helmets are wimps.
There's a great helmet story. The day that we needed the help from those ATV guys, Lauren, we just finished getting down the most impossible hill ever. Lauren sits down. And
we're totally exhausted.
And his helmet goes down a ravine, and he has to climb down and pick it up.
That was the worst. Look how excited I am to be at the hotel. We were so wiped out, man. We probably went 200 miles, and there we are at home, finally.
It was a great trip.
Fantastic.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. Go do it. Go ride it.
Yeah, it was the best.
Thanks.